If you squint hard enough, you'll see the GHSA playoffs starting to come into focus. I'm Cory McCartney, along with PBR Georgia Scouting Director Phil Kerber. And with the jockeying for position for playoffs at the forefront of the conversation, we're here to dive into the latest PBR Georgia Power 25. And we'll also be joined by the coach of Red Hot Franklin County, David Skelly. Phil, welcome back in.
Glad to be back.
Phil, while your top three of Buford, Carrollton, North Oconee remain unchanged, a ton of movement with Winder-Barrow up to fourth. Allatoona climbs to 5, Grayson up to 6, Pope now at 7, and North Paulding back up to 8. You mentioned it in your recap that you think Winder-Barrow is in the conversation to be one of the state's elite teams. What do you need to see from them in particular to put them right there with those top three?
Well, I think they just need to keep winning. This week I think they've got an easier matchup, but if you look towards next week, it's a 3-game set with Buford. So, circle that one, and that's kind of where we'll see is, Winder-Barrow the team that we think they are, or, is Buford reigning supreme in that division like they seem to be. But, they're just doing their thing and they're getting it done. Brady House is freaking on fire. I mean, I don't know why teams are still pitching him at this point. He's hitting over 600. I think it was like, when you add up the extra base hits, has more extra base hits than singles. He scored 35 runs. I mean, it's just incredible the numbers he's putting up. So as long as teams keep pitching to him and he's got guys around him, I don't see them, dropping a game anytime before that Buford series, which is going to set up something, I think, an incredible 3-game set.
Phil, Houston County slipped from 4th to 9th. We know this is a talented group, but the current state of things, is this a matter of just a tough schedule that maybe on the flip side could have them well prepared for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a factor in it. I think it's that, along with some youth in that team. There are some younger guys that are expected to fill some larger roles on that team. I did get a chance to see Houston County yesterday. They took on West Lawrence at Houston County, and it wasn't what I was expecting, as Houston County rolled to a 15-0 win in 4 innings. I mean, that was the number 9 versus 17 teams in the Power 25 right there, and Houston County took care of business. So, they've hit a couple of rough stretches, but if they play like the team I saw last night, they're one of the 10 best in the state, that's for sure.
Starr's Mill is your biggest riser of the week, up 5 spots now to number 18. What has impressed you most with this group?
It's just been the way they've bounced back. They started off the season hot. We were really high on them, and they hit a little skid. They lost 3 straight. But coming out of that, first losing streak, they had a game against Harris County, one of the highly ranked teams in the Power 25. They took them down, put together 4 straight wins. And then they hit another little skid, losses against McIntosh, Marist, Northside. Beat Northside, but then dropped a 10-inning game to Harris County. Now they come back last week. They beat Houston County, beat Whitewater, Northgate, and they put together 5 straight wins now. So it seems like every time that we think that Starr's Mill might be sliding, they bounce right back and, put together some impressive wins. Look at the box scores in this 5-game win streak right now. They've allowed 3 runs at most in the 5 games, and they're scoring, 6-7 runs per game there. So it looks like, the pitching's there, the hitting's there. I think they're trending upwards at the right time.
Also among those risers in the rankings is Franklin County. We're now joined by the coach of the Lions, David Skelly. Coach, how are you? Appreciate the time.
Doing good today. A little rough last night, but hanging in there.
Coach, I wanted to start out by talking about the consistency that your team has shown throughout the season so far. I know last night was a tough loss in the end to a 17-game winning streak, but what has been the key from between game 1 and game 19 now, between you finding that consistency?
Our biggest thing is just keep it level. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Things happen in baseball. And if we can control our own situations, then we're okay. And that's what we've been doing. And unfortunately, we didn't control it last night. And that's what got us. But we just really preach to keep it even. Don't get too high, don't get too low.
Coach, your offense has put up some pretty impressive numbers. Well, I want to get into some of these pitching performances. I mean, South Florida commit Lawson Gailey. I mean, this guy has multiple double-digit strikeout games. And Kane Jinks has a 14K game. How pleased have you been with the play on the mound?
Oh, unbelievable what we've been doing with our pitchers. I mean, they're pitching. They're just not throwing it. Lawson Gailey, I think actually looking at from last night, he's up to 79 strikeouts, I believe now. I'm sorry, he's at 74 with 5 walks, and 1 is intentional. And the boy knows how to pitch. It's pretty easy. Just call the right. I mean, he throws it. He controls the game. Kay's more of a power pitcher, and he's learning how to pitch. So that's going to be real exciting because both are back. And then I have a Miles Dye, who's a left-hander, who's really starting to come on along with us. So our pitching I'm pleased with it. I mean, you can't when you only walk, 5 guys in 41 innings in high school ball, dealing with the umpires, dealing with hitters and the fans and everything else. That's pretty darn good. I mean, I'm real pleased with our pitching right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Gailey and Jinx both being back. I mean, those players obviously part of that 2022 class. You have a young roster, just 3 seniors, CJ Blackwell, JD Ginn, and Evan Herring. How much of a sense is there that this is just the start of something with this group?
Oh, I think we know what's coming down the road, but we're anxious to do it this year. It's not one of those, let's wait till next year. We want to do as much as we can this year to prepare us for down the road. But the seniors have done a great job for us. We only have 3. They're all play key roles for us. So we'll miss them when they go, but we want to get something started here that's going to last. Our middle school team won their little league championship, and they got some kids that may even step in next year for us.
Coach, you talked about wanting to get it done this year. How do you feel your team matches up against the rest of the competition in 3A?
I think we match up pretty good with our pitching staff that we have. But, last night showed that, we tried to put pressure on them, and we hit line drive after line drive, but right at them. And they didn't make their mistakes. And teams that we've been playing have made the mistakes, and we just couldn't capitalize last night. So I think it's going to be a good one. I think we're in a tough region. We got Oconee, we got Hart, Stevens, Monroe. They're not bad teams. So I think we'll be ready when we get to playoffs time. And we've traveled a lot. I mean, we went to Grovetown. We've gone to Sonoraville. We've gone to North Springs. I'm going to find wherever we can play. I'm not going to back away from anybody.
Well, certainly a team that's willing to be tested. Coach, we wish you nothing but the best to you and the Lions the rest of the way, and appreciate the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us on.
Thanks to Coach Skelly for joining us. While we're running through the PBR Georgia Power 25, it's just the beginning. This week also includes the beginning of the Class 7A through 1A polls. So get to the PBR Georgia website to see the entire rundown. He's Phil Kerber. I'm Cory McCartney, and we'll be back after another busy baseball week.